Now, again, Geno Jennings, is that your man? That huckster? That fraud? Is that your man?
A revolutionary woman can't have no reactionary man. Where there's oppression, there will always be resistance.
Yo, this guy be teaching me the Bible. He said something about I'm an Israelite. Do I'm an Israelite person?
Absolutely not. The only thing you need is John 3:16, for God so loved the world.
By the way, have you ever been swallowed up?
What? ¿Qué suave qué?
I'm coming to get you.
Hickory dickory, I know you sick of me, but you a God's enemy. If you live wickedly, don't be an idiot. Follow for trickery, most has had enough. Call all the deacons up, and all of the captains, it's time to get active. We never reactive, we swing into action, cause you're running out of time. Yeah, you're running out of time. Yeah, don't be tripping up, gotta keep it up, cause you're running out of time. Take time.
Hickory dickory dock. The lamb you started the clock. 2/3 gonna drop. Purple gold make them stop. Purple gold make them watch. We gon' rise to the top. We the guys, we don't flop. Can't stop for the flock. Same place they took us. Same place they booked us. Colombia, we docking. Cologne, yeah, we mocking. Hit a tick cause it's talking. If you feeling me, just hit us up. If you Israel, keep looking up. We cut you up, then we build you up. Any, many, money, more. Catch up, cracker, body, throw. When they holla, squeeze it, more. When his eyes pop, let it go.
Hickory dickory, I know you sick of me, but you a God's enemy. If you live wickedly, don't be an idiot. Follow for trickery, most has had enough. Call all the deacons up, and all of the captains, it's time to get active. We never reactive, we swing into action, cause you're running out of time. Yeah, you're running out of time. Yeah, don't be tripping up, gotta keep it up, cause you're running out of time. Take time.
Y'all travel around the block. We sail across the seas, 144,000. We deep like a pool, man, we digging. You constantly sleep, so everyone go and come gather around me. Can't you see how we move? Tribe of Judah too smooth. From coast to coast making moves. We the action apostles, yeah, they try to stop us. They ain't even want us catch the boat. I know it's coming, yeah, that day is coming. Can't wait till my hands cross his throat. Time is ticking. Pestilence, they stricken. The end time is wrapping up. All aboard, we dripping.
It's the perfect timing. Word more than the worth of diamonds on this earth is shining. We've been given power. One left, the 11th hour to the word devoured. I'm just singing the past song. The state of this kingdom won't last long. So how do you figure the time you got left when it's already 10 and a half gone? I'm in rhythm, never prone to a schism. On this throne, that's wisdom. On the scene, that's vision. It's in our jeans, no denim. I'm on a team that's winning. Know that we taking this globe. We on a quest to wake Jacob up next, and that's rather by plane or by boat. Ironic how easy we making the coast.
Hickory dickory, I know you sick of me, but you a God's enemy. If you live wickedly, don't be an idiot. Follow for trickery, most has had enough. Call all the deacons up, and all of the captains, it's time to get active. We never reactive, we swing into action, cause you're running out of time. Yeah, you're running out of time. Yeah, don't be tripping up, gotta keep it up, cause you're running out of time. Take time.
Hickory dickory. The deacon pulled up on your dock, blew up the spot. This never stops. The prophets of God here to light up your block. Ain't taking no L's here to break up the spells. And it's back to this shit that is here on your watch. Ticking the top. New day, got a new play. About to do it all again, no blocks. The kingdom approaches and this here encroachment. If you still observing, you might be an op. Alert before we even die. Curacao shook cause Aruba got rocked. Prophetically speaking, we're here to break kingdoms. So no, we ain't leaving till we see that shop. Shake on top, patiently waiting to drop. The saints on the way for the swap. Drake got
next, so we kicking down doors, no knocks. And taking the kingdom, we snatching from Edom. Reclaiming our freedom, but it's gonna get hot. Redeem what they buy. Watch how we thicken the plot. Hands on this hill at the box. We hunting for fox. Dashing they head on them rocks. The most high done sped up the clock. Watch. Quest to wake the 12, hitting all the spots. They try to track our trail, can't connect them dots. Speeding the freedom and knots. This number 6, we still leaving them shot. Ticking the top, time is at hand for the flock. Man, haste to them gates before they lie.
Hickory dickory, I know you sick of me, but you a God's enemy. If you live wickedly, don't be an idiot. Follow for trickery, most has had enough. Call all the deacons up, and all of the captains, it's time to get active. We never reacted, we swing into action, cause you're running out of time. Yeah, you're running out of time. Yeah, don't be tripping up. Gotta keep it up, cause you're running out of time. Tick tock, tick tock.
Good son of the world. Have you been swallowed?
Hey, shalom, shalom. Good morning. Good morning. Most High in Christ bless. Most High in Christ bless this Sabbath Eve. Pray all is well. Welcome to History in the AM. Captain Kibby Well. All right. And we're going to jump right into it. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Let's see if we got our scribe on deck. Do we have our scribe on deck? Do we have our scribe on deck? We're going to continue. I left off, we were reading out of Columbus and Castro, going into, good morning, sisters. Ephraim. All right, we're still dealing with Ephraim on the transitioning to Ephraim over here on in the Western Hemisphere, or the fourth part of the earth. Okay, and I'm gonna touch back on a couple of those books. I'm gonna bring out a book that I've brought out before. Some of you may remember, if not, called Ebony and Ivy, and it's gonna show you how the Ivy League schools, okay, prestigious Ivy League schools, Harvard, Yale, Columbia, Penn, those schools, yeah. They started off, let's say, first of all, they were founded, or they were funded, let me get my words right. They were funded off of the backs of slaves. All right, so let's get that right. Funded off of the backs of slaves. So, when you see these large endowments and things like that they have, yeah, they got that off of the backs of slaves. Now, we're not going to get into all of that today, but Lord willing, we're going to touch on that book a little bit and show you. I got to bring up, if y'all recall, a lot of people make reference to the slave Bible, and we've seen the slave Bible and how there are parts of the 1611 King James Version that are missing out of the slave Bible. Well, they did the same thing in the Northern Kingdom, called an Algonquin Bible. So I'm going to touch on that a little bit, all right? So, pray y'all take notes. I'm not seeing the scribe on this morning. Good morning. Sisters, good morning, brothers. So we're gonna go on and jump into it. Let me get my notes. We're gonna open up with Isaiah chapter 34 and 16. Isaiah chapter 34 and 16. All right. Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate, for my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. So everything that we need currently for salvation, understanding of who we are, understanding of salvation, the understanding of Christ as the black Messiah, all right, who came and who will return for only the Israelites, the so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans, is right here in this Bible, okay? All that information we need. It says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. That means that what? We have to read and study, right? Long time ago, the bishop instituted 4 chapters a day, minimum, but 4 chapters a day, right? So that you can get the understanding, okay, along with watching the classes, all right? You will get the understanding. So it says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. That means none of the prophecies that were written shall fail. And that's why we have to share with our brothers and sisters that as it was promised to us that we broke God's commandments, that he would send us into captivity, just the same way it's promised that he will gather us, okay? Those of us that repent, keep the commandments of the Lord and the faith of Jesus Christ, he will gather us and bring us back into the land, all right? Let me get 1 Kings chapter 8 and verse 56. Blessed be the Lord that hath given rest unto his people Israel. Now this is during the time of King Solomon. Okay, so when it says that it's given rest, that's because at that time we were at rest. Okay, King David had subdued all the enemies, and Solomon reigned in a peaceful time. All right, so it says, blessed be the Lord that hath given rest unto his people Israel, according to all that he promised. Here's the point. There hath not failed one word of all his good promise. So listen to what it says. There has not failed one word of all his good promise, which he promised by the hand of Moses, his servant. So now, I wasn't thinking about this, but let me go to Romans right quick. Romans 9. So we read that none of what the Lord had promised failed. None of those prophecies failed. So listen to this. Romans chapter 9 and verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh. Now this is Paul speaking, all right? Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises. Okay? Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came, who is over all, God bless forever. Amen. Okay, so the promises are for who? The Israelites. All right? Very important that we understand that, because when we go through, and we see the atrocities that have befallen Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters, and they actually, on this side of the earth, they went into slavery before we did. Okay. We have to know that the Lord is going to gather us back together. All right. All right. And the prophets saw that. The prophets saw that. What do you think Ezekiel saw? Now, Ezekiel, we read that's Babylonian captivity, right? Southern Kingdom. But Ezekiel 37 is talking about bringing both Northern and Southern Kingdom back together. So he saw that vision. Lamentations, which we'll touch today. Jeremiah, during the times of the kings and going into the Babylonian captivity, prophesied. You know, it's not just about what will happen to us. When we read about Lamentation, we're going to see today a lot of the same things happen to our Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters. All right. So for those that may think that they are not Israel, we're gonna continue to bang that drum that they are indeed the Israelites of the Bible. All right. So from there, let's go to Revelation chapter 19 and verse 10. Revelation chapter 19 and verse 10. And it reads, "And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Jesus. Worship God, for the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy." So the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. So as we read through these prophecies, and some of these prophecies that we read through have come to pass, and that makes them what? History. Okay? When they've come to pass, they become history. All right, so from there, I want to go to the book of St. John, and then we're going to get into it. I'm going to go to the book of St. John, chapter 10. St. John, chapter 10. All right. St. John chapter 10, verse 1. "Verily I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up another way, the same is a thief and a robber." So what does this have to do with Northern Kingdom? You're going to see what it has to do with Northern Kingdom. "But he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice." Excuse me, y'all. "And he calleth his own sheep by name and leadeth them out." So you see that he calleth his own sheep by name. Okay? "And leadeth them out. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice." So how do we know his voice today? His voice is right here in this Bible. Matter of fact, let me get Hebrews. Hebrews 1. Hebrews chapter 1. In verse 1. "God, who at sundry times and divers manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds." So it says, hath in these last days. That's the time that we're living in now. We're in the latter days. Spoken unto us by his Son. Now, Christ left the earth over 2,000 years ago. So how is he speaking to us? He's speaking to us through the scriptures. All right? That's how he's speaking to us. Through these scriptures. All right? Watch this. It's his spirit that is dealing with us through these scriptures. All right? Let's go to 2nd Ezra right quick. We're going to go to 2nd Ezra a bit today. 2nd Ezra. Let me find it right quick. 2nd Ezra. Here we go. 2nd Ezra chapter 1 and 37. We talking about the Spirit of the Lord. All right. The Spirit of the Lord. That's dwelling in us today that keep his commandments. All right. "I take to witness the grace of the people to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness. And though they have not seen me with bodily eyes." So in these last days, 2,000 years after Christ left the earth to go be on the right hand of the Father, "though they have not seen me with bodily eyes, yet in spirit they believe the things that I say." How do we believe the things that he says? Because they were written and documented in the Bible. All right. Let's go back. Verse 4 again. John chapter 10, verse 4. And when he putteth forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers. This parable spake Jesus unto them, but they understood not what things they were which he spake unto them. Then said Jesus unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. So we're going to deal with those thieves and robbers today in the form of what? Conquistadors. All right. Verse 9, I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. The thief cometh not but to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they may have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. Now, I was watching some video, and Christians think that means that I'm gonna have a big house and a car and all of that stuff. That's not what he's talking about. All right, so let's deal with this. The thief cometh not but to steal, to kill, and destroy. So now, we were touching on this a little bit. Hold on just a second. I want to bring oh, wait a minute. There we go. All right. I don't need my computer giving me problems today. Okay. All right. So we were touching on Hispanicize. I just want to touch on that a little bit. Yeah, here we go. Let me get it over here. All right. Give me thumbs up. You can see that clearly. I want to make sure you guys can read along with me. All right, thumbs up. Okay, all praises. All right, so let's go to Hispanicization. All right, Hispanicization, I hope I'm saying that right, refers to the process by which a place or person becomes influenced by Hispanic culture, actually Spanish culture, conquistadors. All right, and we're going to show you that through books. All right, or a process of cultural and or linguistic change. So that means that our brothers and sisters of the Northern Kingdom that were over here, they weren't speaking Spanish prior to Christopher Columbus and the conquistadors. With something non-Hispanic becomes Hispanic. Hispanicization is illustrated by spoken Spanish, production and consumption of Hispanic food, Spanish language, music, and participation in Hispanic festivals and holidays. In the former Spanish colonies, the term also used in the narrow linguistic sense of the Spanish language, replacing indigenous languages. All right. Let me go down. Let me see. Yeah. All right. The United States, Hispanic America. All right. It says Spanish America is also used to refer to the imposition of the Spanish language in the former Spanish colonies. All right. So look, throughout the Caribbean, throughout South America, right? It says the former Spanish colonies and its adoption by indigenous people, meaning the people that were already there. That's why we've been harping on 2nd Ezra 13. Let me just read it. Let me just read it right quick. Indigenous people, how did they become indigenous? They didn't walk through no Bering Strait and all that stupid stuff, all right? Remember, all the prophecies right here in the Bible. Okay? So how did they get here? So it says, 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over the waters. And so they came into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where mankind never dwelt. Where mankind never dwelt. Now, there's hundreds of years between those verses. But it says that they would come to another country where mankind never dwelt. Do you think they were speaking Spanish there when they got there? Do you think they were speaking Spanish when they left? No. All right, so let's go back. Let's read some more on this. All right, it says this refers. Let me go here so you can pick up where I'm at. All right. It says this refers to Spain's influence, which began in the late 15th century, and the Spanish Empire beginning in the colonization of the Canary Islands in 1402, which is now part of Spain. Later, the landing of Christopher Columbus. Let me highlight that. Later, the landing of Christopher Columbus in 1492 in the Caribbean, then Central and South America. All these countries were Hispanicized. Let me say it again. All these countries were Hispanicized. However, there are still many people there who hold a culture that still has its origins in the indigenous peoples of the Americas. Until recently, meaning they're saying some people still retained, that which they bought to this side of the earth. Until recently, Castilianization has been official policy by the governments of many Hispanic American countries. Only recently, programs of intercultural bilingual education have been introduced to a substantial extent. The same situation happens in Europe. Populations of non-Spanish origin, like Italian and German populations in Chile and Venezuela. This is voluntary, as some of them still speak their native languages. Okay, but it wasn't voluntary for our people. Okay? It wasn't voluntary for our people, which we will get into. All right, so let me go back to John chapter 10, verse 1. It says, the thief cometh not, but for to steal. Steal what? They stole the land. They stole our children. They stole our heritage. As a matter of fact, let's get that. Show you that this is all biblical accounts of what was to come. All right, Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it's in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man and his heritage. By what? Hispanicizing you. Guess what? The same thing was done to us. Hellenization. Okay? Under the Greeks. It's the same thing. And now it's happened to all of us, because over here in Babylon, especially here in America, you see so many of our people say, well, I'm American. Okay? You're not American. You blacks and Hispanics, you ain't American, right? And you're not American citizens. Okay? So it St. John chapter 10, verse 10, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill. And they decimated our brothers and sisters. They killed many of our people, which we'll read, and to destroy, and have completely destroyed them. Now many of our brothers and sisters in the Northern Kingdom, they fell into Catholicism. Now some of them are going into Islam. But I was reading an article, there's a lot of the children that are coming up that they ain't identifying with nothing religious, okay? A lot of the youth, okay? Christ said, I am come that they may have life. How do we get life? How do we get life? Christ said, I am come that they may have life. Let's get Proverbs chapter 7, verse 2. I am come that they may have life. Proverbs chapter 7, verse 2. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye. So how do we get life? Through the commandments and the faith of Christ. Let's get the book of Baruch. Chapter 4. Baruch, the scribe of Jeremiah. Let's get Baruch chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life. All they that keep it shall come to life. But such as leave it shall die. Okay, that's why Revelations 11 and 8 talks about their dead bodies shall lie in the street, because we are spiritually dead here in Babylon, here in America. All right, so from there, let me hit this right quick. Revelation chapter 6 and verse 8. Revelation chapter 6 and verse 8. You know what? No, I'll wait on that. I'll wait on that. We'll wait on that. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28. I'm going to start at verse 15 and we're going to jump down to 49. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. That's a prophecy, and that's a judgment that the Lord gave Moses to give to us. If we would not keep the commandments, curses would come upon us. All right, let's see one. Let's see one. Verse 49. And the Lord shall bring against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle being their emblem, as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed. Remember, he came to steal and to kill and to destroy. That's what this man came to do. All right. So, let me get into a little bit of this, and then we're going back into the scripts. But let me pull up. Where's my mouse? Let me pull up some the documentation here. All right, where do we want to start? Okay, we're gonna start at Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. I brought this up before. Let me see if I can enlarge that a little bit. All right, I hope that's better for y'all. Page 130. It says a company of Dominican missionaries, or another word they use is friars, okay, reached Hispaniola in 1510 and shocked by the abuses they saw being committed against the Indian population. I don't think they were shocked. They know how their people are. Immediately began waging a campaign to prevent them on the island and through their correspondence back in Spain. Among some ecclesiastics, apologists for the excesses of the colonists, a philosophical argument began gaining currency, purportedly based on Aristotle. It claimed that Indians were a people eligible for slavery because they were not fully endowed with rational faculties. Listen to what they're saying about our people. They were a people eligible for slavery. Well, when we read about the papal bulls, they went out to enslave. Everyone in the lands that they discovered. Okay. 1511, Dominican friar named Antonio de Montesinos preached a sermon in a church on Hispaniola denouncing the Aristotelian doctrine and calling upon his congregants to mend their ways. I'm going to jump down to the highlighted part in the red. If the Indians were natural slaves, then all pretenses at encomienda, I'll look that word up for y'all so that y'all understand what that is, could be dropped. If they were not, then the system as practiced in the West Indies, which by that time also included Spanish settlements on Jamaica. I know you thought that Benji was the only ones ever in Jamaica, right? Big up. No, Benji was not there first, all right? The Spanish were all throughout, Northern Kingdom was all throughout the lands in the Caribbean, all right? So it says Spanish settlements on Jamaica, Cuba, and Puerto Rico, as well as Panama, had to be reformed. Also, the Spanish were in Bermuda, Bahamas, all right? I don't think I don't have the screenshots for that to bring up today, but I will touch on that, Lord willing, about being in the Bahamas as well. All right. So it says let me start back up at the top. If the Indians were natural slaves, then all pretenses at encomienda could be dropped. If they were not, then the system as practiced in the West Indies, which by that time also included Spanish settlements on Jamaica, Cuba, and Puerto Rico, as well as at Panama, had to be reformed. The widowed King Ferdinand preferred, as his wife had done, to think of the Indians as his vassals. Okay, so what does that mean? Let me get a couple of definitions here. All right, we're gonna come right back to that. We'll come right back to that. All right. Okay. Let's go to, let me make sure I'm spelling this right. Okay, here we go. Okay, it says, encomienda, a grant by the Spanish crown to a colonist in America, conferring the right to demand tribute and forced labor from the Indian inhabitants of an area. Read it again. A grant by the Spanish crown to a colonist in America, conferring the right to demand tribute and forced labor from the Indian inhabitants of the area. All right, here we go. it says the encomienda was a Spanish labor system that rewarded conquerors with the labor of the conquered non-Christian peoples. You see what you were, brothers and sisters, before the conquistadors came. They said you were non-Christians, right? Because you're the Israelites. You're the Israelites. In theory, the conquerors provided the laborers with benefits, including military protection and education. And we're going to touch on that education a little bit. They educated us in everything that was them, their history, all right, their ways. That's what we just read. The encomienda was first established in Spain following the Christian Reconquista, and it was applied on a much larger scale during the Spanish colonization of the Americas. Okay, that's all we needed. That's all we. Wait a minute. One more. It says conquered people were considered vassals of the Spanish monarchy. What's a vassal? A person regarded as having a mutual obligation to a lord or monarch. All right. So let's go back. This is what the Lord said. We didn't want to obey the Lord. He said, this is what I'm going to give you. You don't want to obey me? All right. I'm going to bring some people upon you. And you're going to learn. You're going to learn. All right. And that's what's happened to all of us, all 12 tribes. All right. Let's bring this back up. Okay, it says, on paper at least, the excesses of the encomienda in the New World were made illegal by the laws of Burgos, passed in 1512. Now, you know that this man breaks every law and treaty that he signs, okay? Esau has no intentions of keeping his word on anything. Let me get that. Hold on just a second. Let me get that in Psalms. Psalms 55 and verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. And we're going to read that again in 2nd Ezra. Against such that be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. He does not keep his word on anything. Okay, natural born liars, it says in Psalms 58. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. And he didn't always want to shake hands with you. With them dirty hands he don't never wash. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil. Yet were they drawn swords. He's always thinking how he can overthrow you. All right. Let me get Psalms 58 and 3. The wicked. Who's the wicked? The wicked is Esau, the so-called Caucasian man, the red man on the earth, the conquistador. All right. Malachi 1 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb as soon as they be born. They go astray as soon as, The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Speaking lies. That's why it's so easy for them to slander us. Okay, and speak evil about us. And blaspheme God, saying we are not the Israelites. Okay? They are natural born killers and liars. All right, so let's go back. All right. So it says, on paper at least, the excess of the encomienda in the New World were made illegal by the laws of Burgos, passed in 1512. Colonists were forbid to beat Indians or call them dogs. They had to provide minimally decent working and living conditions for the natives that they held in encomienda, and to watch over their Christian education and salvation. Are y'all listening to this? Are y'all listening to what this is? Again, Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. We didn't write this. We didn't make this up. Page 130. It says the colonists were forbidden to beat Indians. So what does that tell you? If they had to make a law about it, then that means it was already going down. Same thing that we see here in America with black folks, because again, as I said, it happens to our brothers, our Northern Kingdom brothers here. It's just here in America is more, we see it more amongst black people in the news, right? And World Star and all that foolishness. But this was happening to them over here before we came over here. So it says colonists were forbidden to beat the Indians or beat Indians. Let me go back so y'all can read along with me. Colonists were forbidden to beat Indians or call them dogs. They had to provide minimally decent working and living conditions for the natives that they held in encomienda, and to watch over their Christian education and salvation. That's why so many of you say, I'm a Christian. I used to do it too. I used to say it too. I was a Christian. This is learned behavior. You damn right. Damn the devil. This is their records. This is their records of what they wrote. Okay? Now, let's get Exodus chapter 11, verse 7. Exodus chapter 11, verse 7. It said, so now look. It said that they were forbidden to call the Indians dogs. Exodus chapter 11, verse 7. Let me get it there. All right. But against the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. Now, let's deal with that dogs. Let's deal with that dogs. Okay? Because they're calling our people dogs. Still to this day. Right? All right. Mark chapter 7 and verse 26. All right. I want us to start there. Let me start at verse 24. Mark 7:24. All right. It says, and from thence he arose and went to the borders of Tyre and Sidon and entered into a house, and would no man have known it, but he could not be hid. For a certain woman whose young daughter, let me get this right, had an unclean spirit, heard of him, and came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by nations. Okay, so she was not an Israelite. Okay. And she besought him that he would cast forth the devil out of her. But Jesus said unto her, let the children first be filled. Who is that talking about? The children of Israel. Let the children first be filled. For it is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it unto dogs. Now this is Christ calling this Syrophoenician woman, this Greek woman of another nation, a dog. You see how they flip things on us now? Now they're calling us dogs, right? And she answered and said unto him, yes, Lord, yet the dogs under the table eat of the children's crumbs. So she acknowledged that she was a dog. These other nations are the dogs? Let's go to the book of Psalms. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 22. This is Christ talking. This is Christ, all right? Psalms chapter 22, verse 16. For dogs have compassed me. The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and my feet. Let me say it again. What did those dogs do? They pierced my hands and my feet. Who was that? The Roman army. That was the Roman army. So who are the dogs? But now they calling us dogs. All right. I hope y'all following along. I hope y'all following along. All right. So let's go back. Let's go back. Okay, it says they could not force Indians to carry heavy loads at the mines, and a woman more than 4 months pregnant could not be made to work in the mines at all. She could be used only in light household chores. But this little gesture at improvement was largely ignored. That's why we went to Psalms 55. It was largely ignored, and abuse continued to such a degree that it was beginning to cause death among the native populations of the islands in large numbers. Okay? Our people were suffering much abuse. Let's see. Let me get the next page. Okay, hold on. Let me grab the book, make sure I got the right. Yep, okay. All right, let's go to page 131. All right. It says, yet, amidst all these marvels and fertility, there is one point which causes me small satisfaction. These simple, naked natives. And we're going to read later on, I think it was either Nicholas Ovando or it might have been Cortez, but he was talking about when he went to the Yucatan, he saw our people decked out, fly. You know what I'm saying? The beautiful garments. All right. So, you know, the lies about the natives running around butt naked, just like they said we would run around Africa butt naked with bones in our noses and all of that stuff. Listen. We're going to show you that we were doing very well. We had pyramids, we had beautiful cities, paved roads. Matter of fact, Cortez talked about how beautiful the cities were and how some of them reminded him, I think, of Seville back in Spain. All right, so let's go back. It says, these simple naked natives were little accustomed to labor and the immense fatigues they now suffer. Laboring in the mines is killing them in great numbers and reducing the others to such a state of despair that many kill themselves or refuse to procreate their kind. It is alleged that the pregnant woman take drugs to produce abortions, knowing that the children they bear will become slaves of the Christians. Read it again. Slaves of the Christians. Although a royal decree has declared all the islanders to be free, they are forced to work more than is fit for a free man. The number of these unfortunate people diminishes in extraordinary fashion. Many people claim that they formerly numbered more than 12 million. How many there are today, I will not venture to say. So much I am horrified, because they decimated us, destroyed us in numbers. All right. Let me go down. It says, although Peter's estimate of the original size of the population of Hispaniola, or even all the West Indian islands colonized by then, is exaggerated, maybe not, he has placed his finger quite accurately upon the process that Bartolome de las Casas later would call the destruction of the Indies. In some places, the indigenous populations was to disappear entirely. Okay, and that's what I was saying about Bahamas. I think it's the Lucayan people. That for a while, some of those islands that have been populated ended up with no population. Okay, because of the conquistadors. All right, the rape of Peter's noble savage did not stop with the mere abuse of encomienda. There also were Indians whom the more rapacious colonists could treat unqualifiedly as slaves, and against them anything was permitted. These came from the islands that, not having yet been colonized, were therefore not yet subject to the fiction that their inhabitants were free under Spanish law. Slave raiding, which became increasingly popular as the Indians of the colonized islands died off under the abuses of the encomienda, seemed to find its most fertile source of supply in the Bahamas, which were known to the early Spanish colonists as Lacayos. Okay, that's what I was just talking about. But it's another book that goes more in detail on it. I forgot it was in this. Let me jump down. It says, it is stated that these islands formerly abounded in various products, which constituted their riches. I say formerly, for they are now deserted. The reason for this is that large numbers of the wretched islanders were transported to the gold mines of Hispaniola and Fernandina, Cuba, when the native inhabitants there were exterminated. I hope y'all taking notes. I hope y'all listening. I hope my Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters is listening. It's high time you wake up. Listen to what the people that have enslaved you and called you Catholics, you kissed the rosary beads and all of that. This is what they did to you. The name of the book is Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. All right, sister, the name of the book is Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. The reason for this, I'm sorry, I read that part. Exhausted by disease and famine as well as by excessive labor, 1,200,000 of them disappeared. All right, 1,200,000 of them disappeared. Let's go back to the scripts. Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and okay, let's go back to 51 and then I'm gonna jump up. 51, Deuteronomy 28:51. This is that same eagle. Okay, the same eagle. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land, that means our resources, until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or increase of kine, or flocks of sheep, until he hath destroy thee. Now, let's jump up. Now, you know what? From there, let me go. I got another one I want to bring out. And then we'll go back to Deuteronomy. Okay. Okay, that's 18. I hope I got all the pages on here. It doesn't look like I got. Okay. I want to bring this up, but I want to go to the scripts first. I got another book. I'm going to go to a book called Ebony and Ivy. Okay, and we get into the Ivy League and the education system, but I want to bring up something because we are reading about the destruction and the brutality of the eagle, these conquistadors. So I want to go back to 2nd Ezra. All right, let's go to 2nd Ezra 11. 2nd Ezra 11, and I'm going to start at 5 and 6, and then we're going to jump down. All right, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 11, verse 5. Moreover, I beheld, and lo, the eagle flew with her feathers, and reigned upon earth, and over them that dwelt therein. And over them that dwelt therein. That's why we read, let me get Job 9:24. Job chapter 9, verse 24. We coming right back to 2nd Ezra. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right. Verse 6. Let's go back. 2nd Ezra chapter 11, verse 6. And I saw that all things under heaven were subject unto her, and no man spake against her. No, not one creature upon the earth. We're going to read why. Let's jump down to verse 36. Verse 36. Then I heard a voice which said unto me, look before thee, and consider the thing that thou seest. And I beheld, and lo, it were as a roaring lion chased out of the wood. And I saw that he sent out a man's voice unto the eagle, and said, hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, art not thou it that remaineth of the 4 beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, and that the end of their times might come through them? So Christ is saying, I gave you power to reign, but your end is going to come through you. How is the end going to come through the people that are reigning? Nuclear destruction. Matter of fact, let me just nuclear destruction, right? Because the scriptures say the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He willeth it any way he chooses. So he made them build the bombs for their own destruction. All right, let me get that. Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. And I have created the waster to destroy. They are going to destroy themselves. All right. So let me go back. 2nd Ezra chapter 11 verse 39 again. Are not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, whom I have made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? Now, let's just jump back over to 2nd Ezra chapter 6. What does that mean, the end of their times? 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, Jacob's hand held first to Esau's heel. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Because there's going to be judgment. All right? There's going to be judgment for what they've done to God's children. Y'all got to remember, we are the apple of God's eye. Okay? And, matter of fact, let me hit this. Let me get this. Listen to this. Isaiah chapter 63, verse 9. In all their affliction, he was afflicted, and the angel of his presence saved them. In his love and in his pity, he redeemed them and bare them and carried them all the days of old. The Lord is saying when we're afflicted, he's afflicted. All right. So he is going to redeem us for those things that have happened to us. Let's get Obadiah right quick. Obadiah, because let me set it up again. Let me read what it says. Let me read what it says here again. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Esau is the end of the world. Whose world? His world. His world. All right, Obadiah. Verse 18. And the house of Jacob. No, let me start at verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph, Ephraim and the other northern kingdom tribes, Ephraim and Manasseh specifically, but Ephraim and the tribes, right, shall be a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. They will be annihilated, wiped off the earth. Okay, but is that for us to go do? The Lord said, vengeance belongeth to him. Okay, so it ain't up to us to do anything but pray and wear the Lord's ears out. Okay, wear him out. Isaiah chapter 62 and verse 6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace, day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord shall not keep silence. All right, because we're supposed to do what? Pray for vengeance. Pray for vengeance. Pray for vengeance. Go read Luke 18. Pray for vengeance. All right. And give him no rest till he establish and make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Give him no rest. Pray for vengeance. All right. Now let's stay in Isaiah. Now it says that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay. Isaiah 45:17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be confounded. You shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. World without end. Hold on a second. Let me let me see something right quick. Let me see something right quick. Here we go. Here we go. Watch this. It says, Israel shall be saved. Wait a minute. Let me read it again. Got something for y'all. Let me read it again. Isaiah 45:17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. You shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. Okay. Let me go to Ephesians 1:1. Watch this. Paul, an apostle of Jesus Christ by the will of God, to the saints. Who are the saints? The Israelites. Psalms 148:14. Right? To the saints which are at Ephesus, and to the faithful in Christ Jesus. Let's jump over to chapter 3. Verse 20. Okay, Ephesians 3 and verse 20. Now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. Unto him be glory in the church by Christ Jesus throughout all ages, world without end. Amen. So who are the Ephesians? The Israelites. So these Gentiles, we keep telling y'all, these Gentiles you read about in the New Testament are the Israelites. The Ephesians are Israelites. World without end. All right, so let's go back to 2nd Ezra. I know I kind of went off a little bit. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 11. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 11. Verse 40 now. Verse 40. Yeah. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And over the whole compass, when they say over the entire earth, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, over the entire earth, right? With much wicked oppression. All right. Let me keep reading on. I want to jump somewhere else. But let me finish this. And so long time he dwelt upon the earth with deceit. So long time he dwelt upon the earth with deceit. What's the deceit? Christ is white. The angels are white. Caucasians are the Jews. Right? Much deceit. You're Hispanic. No, you're the Israelites. You're black. No, you're the Israelites. With much deceit. Their political system, deceit. Their educational system, deceit. The foods, the GMO foods and all of that stuff, deceit. Okay? The medical system, deceit. All right? For the earth hast thou not judged with truth. Let's back that up. It says, the earth hast thou not judged with truth. How you going to, Bishop Yeltsin, I say it all the time, how you going to be in the stolen land and judge righteously? It's not, you can't. You cannot. Listen to this. Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse 1. The burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Why dost thou show me iniquity, and cause me to behold grievance? And for spoiling and violence are before me, and there they that rise up strife and contention. Therefore the law is slack, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked compasseth about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. Therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. Because it says back in 2nd Ezra 11:41, for the earth hast thou not judged with truth. The earth hast thou not judged with truth. Psalms chapter 119, verse 142. The earth hast thou not judged with truth. Why? Because they love liars. The scriptures say when you saw a thief, you consented with him. They love liars. They love thieves. That's why we started off in John. The thief cometh not but for to steal, to kill, and destroy. That's who we reading about, these conquistadors. All right. Psalms 119, 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. All right. You know how Christ said in John 8:32, and you shall know the truth. You shall know the truth. Ye shall know the truth. Why? Because this system is full of lies and deceit. All right. Verse 42, 2 Ezra 11:42. For thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable. That's what I wanted to get to. Thou hast loved liars and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and has cast down the walls of such that did thee no harm. That's what we read about. That's what they did. Has cast down the dwellings of them that did thee no harm. Therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. The highest also hath looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. That's going to be the judgment upon them. Okay. And therefore appear no more, thou eagle, that's Obadiah, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor thy vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed. That's what we read about in Isaiah. Matter of fact, let's just get it again right quick. That's what we read about in Isaiah. He got to go for the earth to be refreshed. Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 5. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepters of the rulers. He has smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth in singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us. A feller is one that cuts down trees. Like Christmas time coming out, they cut down all the trees. Matter of fact, on my way to work, I was riding past and I noticed a tree farm. Okay, so what they do, they have large plots and they cut down so many trees on one part of the plot, I guess for Christmas and all that, because a lot of them are the what they call the evergreens. Okay, and throughout the season they just regrow new evergreens. So it's called tree farms. They got many of them down here in Florida. All right, so let's go back. Verse 46 again, 2 Ezra 11:46. That all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. Okay. Let's read some more about some of the violence and some of the things they did to us. Let's go to the book of Lamentation. Let's go to the book of Lamentation. All right. And then we're going to go to another book that I got, Ebony and Ivy. We're going to touch on that a little bit before we wrap up. Okay. Lamentation chapter 5. Matter of fact, hold on a second. There's a image. There's an image. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, there's an image I want to pull up. Okay. It's called, what's that image called? Some of you have seen this before. Okay, here we go. Yeah. I want to get this straight. There we go. All right. Lamentation chapter 5 and verse 1. Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us, and consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, and our houses to aliens. Now we know that when you read it in that time frame, Nebuchadnezzar had come upon the southern kingdom, right? And destroyed the southern kingdom. And we know that we went into many different captivities, right? So we went into Syria, we went into Babylon, Persian Mede, Greek, Roman captivity. Now we're in America. Excuse me, I got some. Now we're in America, right? But it says, our inheritance is turned to strangers and our houses to aliens. Our inheritance, our land, our culture, all of those things turned to strangers. Who are the strangers? The other nations. And the Esau. Okay, we were reading about that, and we're reading about that in these books, like what we just read in Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, what we were reading earlier in the week in from Columbus to Castro. Okay, and there are many other, Destruction of the Indies. There are many other books that detail the destruction of our people and what they did to us and how they took our lands, okay, and decimated us. So it says our inheritance is turned to strangers and our houses to aliens. So what is the Lord calling the white man, the so-called white man, and all the other nations that did this to us? Aliens. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. I'm going to go into a little bit of that, Lord willing, in that book. Because the book that I have, and I don't think I'm going to touch that today because I want to touch the Bible that they have for us. But the boarding houses, okay, those Ivy League schools, a lot of them, they started off after they conquered Northern Kingdom, the Pequot Indians, Massachusetts Indians, all those up in the Northeast, in Canada and that whole area, and they put them in boarding schools, all right, and abused them and taught them how to be Americans, all right. We have drunken our water for wood. We have drunken our water for money, and our wood is sold unto us. And that's still happening to this very day. That's our resources that they took. Okay. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. We were reading about that they made laws because they were so abusive against the Northern Kingdom. And they did the same thing to us when we came over here in slavery in the Americas. So abusive, they had to make laws to say don't abuse them so badly. But yet they ignored those. All right. We have given the hand to the Egyptians and to the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread. Okay. So that's us being in captivity under them and us having to go to them for all our needs. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. All right. We're showing you the Bible is indeed a true book. Deuteronomy 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee. So we would go to him for the lack of all things. Our fathers have sinned and are not, because they're dead. Okay. And we have borne their iniquities. Servants have ruled over us. There is none that doth deliver out of their hand. I wanted to show you this. It says, servants have ruled over us. Is that the... Yeah, watch this. It says, servants have ruled over us. Okay. It says, this is the equestrian statue of Theodore Roosevelt. On the right, you got Judah. On the left, he got Northern Kingdom. You see that? On the right, he got Judah. On the left, he has Northern Kingdom. All right. So I'm going to read it again. It says, Lamentation 5:8, servants have ruled over us. There is none that doth deliver us out of their hands. Servants have ruled over us. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. Chapter 10, Ecclesiastes. Chapter 10, verse 6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. I have seen servants upon horses and princes. Let me put that picture back up while I read this. It says, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. Princes walking as servants upon the earth. Oh my gosh. I mean, the Bible can't be more clear. The Bible can't be more clear. Genesis chapter 32 verse 28. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. So if Jacob was the prince, who are his sons? We are princes. We are also princes. All right. All right. Back to Lamentation. Back to Lamentation. How much time I got? I don't have a lot. Okay. Sheesh, I wanted to get to this book. I don't want to, but let's see. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes, y'all. All right. Verse 11. They ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah. So they ravished the women because we'll read as we continue on, Lord spare our lives, that they raped our women. Okay. Verse 12. Princes are hanged up by their hand, and the faces of the elders were not honored. So, you know, and I didn't get that picture, how they would hang us. They call it a baker's dozen. All right. 13 on the gallows by the hands. It's on the flyer. All right. They took, verse 13, they took the young men to grind, and the children fell under the wood. That's us in slavery and captivity. They took the young men to grind, and the children fell under the wood. I'm going to go, it's either Joshua or Judges. Hold on, let me get it right quick. Joshua, I think it's Joshua 9. Is it Joshua 9? Oh, I mean Joshua 10. That's why I don't see it. Joshua 9. Here we go. Here we go. 9:23. Now therefore ye are cursed, and there shall none of you be freed from being bondmen and hewers of wood and drawers of water for the house of my God. That's what happened to the Jebusites, I believe it was, the Gibeonites, Gibeon, because Gibeon made they tricked us into making a covenant with them when they saw how Joshua was going through and killing everybody, just killing everybody. They came and they acted like they came from a far place with moldy bread, old wine, beat up shoes, beat up kicks, and they deceived us, and we made a covenant with them. All right. But it says, let me read it again. This was the agreement. Now, therefore, ye are cursed, and there shall none of you be free from being bondmen, slave men, and bond women. Forgive me. Now, therefore, ye are cursed. I'm reading that which the sister wrote. Yep. Yes, absolutely. When Bishop showed that someone was being shoved on spikes, yes. Yes, a lot of cruel. Oh man. Sidebar. On one of the quests we went on, I was in this this museum in Curacao, and this museum showed they had relics of all kind of torture devices that they would put us in. I remember one, and man, I'm going to try to find those pictures and bring them up for y'all next time. One was this torture chair. I call it a timeout chair, where you would be seated and the chair just basically closed in on you and you could not move. You literally could not move. And there was a lock on it. And they could do whatever they wanted to. Oh man, the torture devices that this man thinks of is insane. But it says, Joshua 9:23, now therefore ye are cursed, and there shall none of you be freed from being bondmen and hewers of wood and drawers of water for the house of my God. Okay, so when it talks about our children being grinding and the wood falling on them, it's going into captivity. All right, so let me go back. Let me try to end it with I said I wanted to bring this out, so let me bring this out. Let's see. I gotta see which. Bear with me just a second. I gotta grab the book and the page. Oh, don't tell me I don't have that page uploaded. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on. Oh, okay, there it is. Yep, I got it. All right, here we go. So now this is a book called Ebony and Ivy. Ebony and Ivy, about the Ivy League schools. Okay. All right, watch this. The first 5 colleges, I'm reading right here, the underline in red. I'm sorry, I'm blow it up so y'all can see it. The first 5 colleges in the British American colonies. It says in the British American colonies. This is before 1776. Harvard, established in 1636. William and Mary, 1693. Yale, 1701. Codrington in Barbados, 1745. New Jersey, 1746. I think New Jersey is now what you call Rutgers University. Were instruments of Christian expansionism. Listen again. These first 5 colleges, this is your Ivy League schools, were instruments of Christian expansionism. Weapons for the conquest of indigenous peoples and major beneficiaries of the African slave trade and slavery. This is your Ivy League schools. Okay? Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Weapons. It says that these schools were weapons. They weaponized their education system. Listen, y'all think Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's what we're reading. Okay? That's what we're reading. All right? Spiritual wickedness in high places. All right, hold on. We got a little more on this. Okay, let's go back. All right, so who was this? Who was this aimed against? Well, it said the indigenous. Let's get a little bit more descriptive about those indigenous. All right. Missionaries, exploiters, merchants, traders, and soldiers extended the borders of the colonial world, and churches, forts, storehouses, docks, and ships announced the permanence of the European invasion. Scholars and schools were a less obvious but no less significant presence. They were weapons. Spain's conquest in the Americas were followed by intensive periods of institution building. Wait a minute. Hold on just a second. Wait a minute. See, we gotta make sure y'all understand the Bible is a true book. We gotta make the scriptures alive to you. Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build. They shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. I want to concentrate on the part where it says they shall build. They shall build. Listen to what now. Let's go back. Let's read it again. Let's read it again. It says, scholars and schools were a less obvious but no less significant presence. So in the building, it says they were no less significant presence. Spain's conquest in the Americas were followed by intensive periods of institutional building. Universities catalyzed cultural shifts in the capitals and hinterlands of the defeated, listen to this, defeated Taino, Carib, Aztec, Mayan, and Inca empires. Are y'all seeing that? Are y'all seeing that? Defeated Taino, Carib, Aztec, Mayan, and Inca empires. And now you're Christians and Catholics. Okay. All right. Hold on. There's more. There's more. All right. Let's get this. All right. I'm going to read the highlighted part here. It says, in 1649, Parliament created the Corporation for the propagation of the gospel in New England. Read that again. In 1649. You know how we have the charts with all the religions, the man-made religions? I hope I'm connecting some dots for you, brothers and sisters. In 1649, Parliament created the Corporation for the propagation of the gospel in New England. The mission of the New England Company was to accelerate the Christianization of the North American Indians. It said accelerate. Accelerate. Speed up the process. Okay. Is that all that I had on that? Wait a minute. All right. I want to show y'all something. Let's go to this right here because my time's almost up. All right. This is page 25. It says British colonists added to the company's treasury, which paid for everything from tuition and board of Indian students to the printing presses that ran off thousands of copies of Reverend John Eliot's Algonquin Bible, or the Indian Bible. See, y'all thought it was just a black Bible. No, the Indian Bible. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Okay. Hold on. Let me oh shoot. Okay. All right. Yep, the Eliot Bible. All right. I'm going to read a little bit of this in Wiki, and we're going to end it here. Okay. Okay. Now, as y'all see, that's the same picture. All right. But I got a book. I got the book. Algonquin Indian Bible, title page 1663. All right. The Eliot Bible. It says, was the first translation of the Christian, of the Christian Bible into the indigenous American language, because they thought it was better to get it, to put it in their language so that they would understand it. Of course, it's going to have the English, and it's going to be the whitewashed version to make it plain. All right. As well as the first Bible published in British North America. It was prepared by English Puritan missionary John Eliot by translating the Geneva Bible into the Massachusetts language, the Massachusetts Indians. Printed in Cambridge, Massachusetts, the work appeared in 1661 with only the New Testament. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar to only the New Testament? Just like those little green Bibles that got Psalms in the New Testament, or Psalms and Proverbs in the New Testament. Why? Because they don't want you to know your history. That's why that's why even to this day when we teach them, brothers and sisters will be like, but y'all reading out of the Old Testament. When Christ said, I come in the volume of the book. Let me get it right quick. Christ said, I come in the volume of the book. It's high time for our people to wake up out of sleep. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 7. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O God. All right. So it says the first work appeared in 1661 with only the New Testament, an edition including all 66 books of both the Old and New Testaments was printed in 1663. Now, that didn't include the Apocrypha. You know that. History. It said the history of Eliot's Indian Bible involves 3 historical events that came together to produce the Algonquin Bible. All right, we may get into that a little bit later. Okay, here we go. Act of Parliament. In 1649, Parliament enacted an act for the promoting and propagation of the gospel of Jesus Christ in New England, which set up the corporation in England consisting of a president, a treasurer, and 14 people to help them. The name of the corporation was the President and Society for the Propagation of the Gospel in New England. Just realized I moved that. Okay, so y'all can read along with me. But it was later known simply as the New England Company. The corporation had the power to collect money in England for missionary purposes in New England. This money was received by the commissioners of the United Colonies of New England and dispersed for missionary purposes such as Eliot's Indian Bible. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there this morning, Israel. I pray you got something out of it. I didn't even get to some of the other scriptures. I wanted to go back into Hosea. But Lord willing, we'll touch it the next time I teach. I do want to go a little bit more into this. We still got other things to touch on, like religion, how we got off into, we took on different religions and we followed other gods in our own land. And then with the fulfillment of Deuteronomy 28:64, these religions were forced on us over here. So again, I pray y'all got something out of it. That's my time. Y'all prepare for the Sabbath. All right, we got daily bread coming up. All right, hey, y'all continue to pray for our leadership. Y'all continue to pray for the prophets that is going all over the earth. Y'all, if you're not a part of the Booster Club, join the Boosters Club. Okay, that I'm gonna say shalom. Most High in Christ bless. If I don't talk to you, have a happy Sabbath. Most High in Christ bless you.